Hi everybody, it's Patty Ann and I'm here again with another installment of my learning to use Floriani Total Control U and just sharing what I've learned with you. So the first thing I'm going to do today is I'm going to go up here. I've already opened Floriani Total Control U. I've not opened a new page. I suppose I could do that. Okay, but what I really want to show you is first I'm going to go up here to where it says Floriani Club and click on that. That's going to take me to the web page that shows Walter's picture at the top. What I'm interested in is, well, first of all, you need to come up here and you need to sign in. And then after you've signed in, go down here to where it says Monthly Designs Project and click on that. You're going to come up with September 2016's monthly design. That's the month I'm working on right now. And you're going to click on Install Current Month Designs. Once you've installed the current month designs, you're not only going to have the designs available to you in your software, but you're also going to have an Adobe file that tells you the steps to go through for this tutorial. And it looks like this. Now it shows Alphabet Animals Doodle Marker Case. We're not going to actually make the doodle marker case, although you can if you'd like. The purpose of this video is to just work with you step by step through the process of getting ready to stitch. So if you look down here at page number 2 or 3, it tells you the table of contents, and then it says for the software, this is at the beginner level to intermediate. I kind of feel like it's a little bit intermediate. And then it tells you also what you need if you're going to sew the project, but again, we're not going to need that. So we're going to scroll down until we get to step number 1, and hopefully you've printed off these directions that you can follow along and work along with me, because it really does help just the repetition of doing these things and using the software over and over and over again. So I'm going to open my Floriani Total Control U. And I'm going to get my paperwork ready because I'm going to work right through this tutorial with you. So I need to start on page 4. And the first thing it says is step number 1 to set your preferences. So they're wanting you to set your preferences so that you're using inches this time or imperial. The way that they suggest that you test to see if you are, you can bring your mouse up here into this ruler or the vertical ruler over here. Either place, you could just right click there, and if you want it to be metric, you see metric right here, I could click on that and it changes my rulers to the metric system. If I want it to be imperial, and that's what these directions have requested, I'll right click again and change it. Rather than being metric, I'll click on imperial, and you'll notice that my rulers will change to inches. Okay, the next thing that they want us to do is to go into Tools up here and go to Preferences, which is way at the very bottom. And now they want us to change the preferences in the grid. Now, I've already done this, so mine are going to be the way they're supposed to be, but let's pretend they're not. Yours probably won't be. So we'll go into Grid, and the first thing it says for us to do is to change the horizontal spacing to 0.25. So I'm going to do that, 0.25. And it says to do the same thing to the vertical spacing, 0.25 or 1/4 of an inch. And then it says to come over here to Grid Major. That's the major lines. And we want them to be horizontally every 4 lines and vertically every 4. Now your color may have come in at this purple color. I didn't like that color. To me, it's too distracting. So I changed mine to a lighter grayish color, which I liked a lot better. And then make sure that you have your snap to grid checked as well. And then click OK. So your grid may not show. And if your grid doesn't show, all you have to do is come over here to the left-hand side. You see this little icon right here that looks like a grid. And if you hover over it, it says show or hide grid. So if I click on it, it hides the grid. If I click again, it'll show the grid. That's pretty easy. Okay, the next thing that the paperwork talks about is raster and vector images. And we're not going to talk about that in this tutorial because I don't think it's necessary right now for what we're learning, the goal for what I want to learn for myself today and what I'm hoping you will learn. So we're going to go on to page 5. And on the left-hand side, there's a chart that says line tools, shape tools, transform artwork tools. We're going to skip that. And we're going to go right underneath there where it says click new. So find click new on the left-hand side under the box. And of course, then go ahead and click new. And now the next thing it says for you to do is to click on the rectangle tool. So, and it shows you an icon of what it looks like. It's way over here, the rectangle tool. Click on it. And not only click on that, but you want to choose the rectangle. And then you're going to come down here into your work area, and you're going to click and drag to create a rectangular shaped artwork. And there it is. And if I come over here on the right-hand side and click this little plus sign to the left of the eyeball, I can see that this rectangle is indeed just artwork. That means it won't stitch out. It's not stitches. It's a drawing. It's a piece of artwork. One other thing that's kind of nice to know at some point too is if you have a whole lot of things going on over here in the sequence view and you just want to look at specific stuff, you can take this little eyeball here and close it. And then whatever was on the screen in that area, it becomes invisible. It's not gone. It's just got its eye closed for right now. So you can open its eye back up and there it is again. Well, anyway, now we need to make sure that our rectangle is selected, and it is. So now we're going to transform it or change its size. So we go up here where it says transform in the properties box. Now if ever your properties box is missing, so like you can't see mine right here, all you see is the sequence view, I just simply have to come over here to the left of the little gear shape, this, click on it, and it brings my properties box back up. So I'm going to transform my rectangle, and I'm going to make my rectangle 8.5 by 11. So they want it 8.5 inches wide, 8.5, whoopsie, see, okay, wide by 11 inches tall. Now, if when you typed in 11, it automatically changed your 8.5 to something else, it may be because this maintain aspect ratio button is checked. You don't want that to be checked when you're trying to change these independently. So if it's checked, uncheck it, and again, put in 8.5 and 11 and click apply. And that's going to change the size of this rectangle over here. Okay, now I can't see the whole thing on the screen. Well, that's easy to remedy. Just come up here to where the zoom is, click on it, and put zoom to fit. That means the whole thing is going to fit on my screen. And there it is. Okay, let's see where we are. We're on page number 5 on the right-hand side. And it's asking us to show the grid, but we already see the grid. And now it's asking, but remember now, if you don't see the grid, of course, you can always click this show and hide the grid. And what it's asking us to do now is to align this upper part with these gray lines. And I can't see them very well here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my magnifying glass and I'm going to click my left button and hold like that, and it's going to make that part larger for me to be able to see it. Then I'm going to come back up here to my select tool so I can select something. See how my cursor turns into a hand? Means I can drag it, so I'm going to drag it right up there. Now watch this, I'm going to let go of it right here, but it should snap right to that line since I had snap to grid checked in my preferences. Hey, it didn't. Okay, that's odd. I'll have to see why that didn't work. But anyway, let's go on. So we're supposed to reposition the artwork rectangle so it aligns with both the horizontal line and the vertical line, which is what we've done. And now we're going to add a vertical artwork line from the top to the bottom, 1 inch from the left side of the artwork shape. So do you remember we said from here the gray line to the second gray line was 1 inch because each one of these dotted lines was 1/4 of an inch. Okay, so I can go back up here and I want to zoom so it's going to fit. And now I'm going to draw a line from this. I need to come up here, get my line tool, and I'm going to draw a line. Oh, and I have something else on mine that's making that grid or crosshairs show up. I can show you how to do that later if you'd like to know. But I'm going to click there. I'm going to hold my Shift key down, and then I'm going to come down to the bottom and click there. Then I'm going to go off of it and right click. And that puts it where I want it to be. So I'm going to go like this to fit again. And now you can barely see it, but I do have a line, 2 lines, one there and one right there. I think I'll change them so that they're a different color. Maybe I should make them like a red so you can see them more clearly. There we go. And I'll make this one red. Okay, now you should be able to see more clearly. There's the outline, and there's the 1st inch off one that I made. So let's stop here for now so you can replay this video and work through this much of the tutorial, and then join me back here after you feel comfortable with that.